Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. We will continue with our course Investment and Portfolio Management. The course code is MGT 531 and today's lecture is lecture number 23, and the reference book is the same as we have been doing in the last lecture, that is by Christina. It was conducted in 2010 about the investment analysis and portfolio management. First of all, we will discuss the summary of the last lecture, and then we will do the today's contents. In the last lecture we did the different stocks. For example, they were the blue categories of the stocks, and we did the decision making about the investment in the stocks, that what the investor should do in order to undertake the investment and in order to make the purchases for his portfolio holdings. And we discussed the nature of the different categories of the stocks that the investor can keep in his portfolio holding, and how these categories can benefit his portfolio in order to increase his earning level and economic status. And in other words, we can say that how these categories can be preferred and what are the reasons due to which the investor can prefer these categories in order to keep in their portfolio. And these different categories include blue chip stocks, which were considered best known firms, income stocks, cyclical stocks, which were like the business cycle, defensive stock, growth stock, speculative stock, and penny stock. And we know that the nature of the stock is apparent from their names. What type of the stock they can be, it is apparent from the name, and what can be the nature of this particular stock. And continuing with the discussion, we will discuss the contents of the today's lecture. The contents of the today's lecture include strategies for investment in stocks, and what are these stocks. These are defensive stock, interest sensitive, consumer durable, capital goods. We are basically talking about among, as far as the categories of the stocks are concerned, we are discussing the different goods associated with different categories, sector rotation and business cycle strategy, market timing strategy, and value screening strategy. The strategies for investing in stock. We focus on three main types of strategies for investing in stock, that is how the individual decision maker or corporation decision maker can decide about purchases of these different stocks and categories of the stocks in order to keep in their portfolio holdings to stabilize and to improve the economic status in the future. And what are these three different types of strategies for investment in the stocks are sector rotation, business cycle strategy, market timing strategy, and value screening strategy. As far as the sector rotation strategy is concerned, we did little about this in the last lecture. The strategies for investing in stock. First important strategy is about sector rotation and business cycle strategy. This basically explain to the investors that how the business can rotate through different cycles from one sector and through different phases, from one phase to the other phase, in order to give the gain to the investor, in order to give the capital gain to the investor. Particularly, we can say that sector rotation and business cycle, they are of similar type. They go through different cycles and different stages of the cycle, which are known as cyclical stages, and they intend basically the movement of the invested funds from one sector to the other sector, depend on the changes in the economic conditions. So we can say that when any investor or the corporation, they want to make the investment of the funds and resources on a particular stock or in any sector, and it depends upon the fluctuations in the economic conditions, that how the economic conditions they are fluctuating, how the economic conditions they are changing. And this strategy use the classification of all stocks traded in the market on the basis of their behavior in regard to the business cycle. So we can say that this strategy can adopt the classification of different stocks which are being traded in the market, and it is based on the behavior of different on the behavior of their business cycle changes, that how they change according to a business cycle, how they indicate the cyclical changes in their behavior. as far as the economic returns are concerned. So sectoral changes has this important significance and this important feature that they are relevant to the business cycle, and as far as different stocks in the market are concerned and the individual investors and corporations, they are concerned with the pattern of the stocks and pattern of the returns of the stocks, that they go through cyclical changes and they observe cyclical changes, that is from at one time they indicate the upward direction and positively sloped movement, at some time they are at peak level, at another time they are showing negatively sloped movement, that they show a downfall, and then they are at minimum level. Continuing with the discussion, the following groups are identified as far as the discussion is concerned. The first is defensive stock, the second is interest sensitive stock, the third, and then we have the consumer durables and capital goods, which can be known as a part of these stocks. And the defensive stocks were defined in the previous section. In the last section we did what the defensive stocks were, and these stocks are usually related with the food industry, with the retail, tobacco, beverage industries, pharmaceuticals and other supplies of the necessity goods and services. And the prices of these stocks reach their highest level in the later phases of the business cycle. So what we can say, what is the speciality, what is the basic feature of the defensive stock as far as the strategies for investment in stock is concerned, and as far as these particular goods which are indicated here as food industry, retail, tobacco, etc., pharmaceuticals are concerned. So we can say that prices of these stocks, they touch a highest level of their trend, highest level of their trend in the later phases of the business cycle, that when the business cycle is at its end for particular time period, then we can say that these are at highest level. So we can say that these goods, the prices for these commodities, they pass through a long time period, and for long time period, for specific long time period, they show almost positively sloped trend, which is flatter relatively, and but indicates a positive growth in the prices and returns of this stock, and ultimately at the later stages of the cycle for the particular time period reaches at its maximum level or at its peak level. Then we have another type of stock which is very important, which is known as interest sensitive stock. And interest sensitive stock, they are related with the sectors of communication, utilities, housing industry, and they are also linked with the insurance and other financial institutions. So these are very much important stocks, and behavior of the stock is almost unfavorable for investors in the phase of economic crisis. We can say that the investors who are investors when the economy is facing crisis, when the economic crisis, when the economy is facing a recession in terms of economy, in terms of finances, the behavior of these stocks is not favorable, that we should not, and the investors should not invest in these stocks when the economy is facing and economy is observing a downfall, is observing a recession, and there is, in other words, we can say when there is deterioration in the economy, and these stocks are considered as good investment in the early phases of the business cycle, in the optimistic phases. So this is the vice versa, or the converse situation of the first argument, that when these stocks are good to be invested, and they should be preferred to be bought by the investors when the economy is in the peak, is in the recovery situation, that is when it is moving upward and it is showing positive trend in its business cycle. In other words, we can say this is a sort of optimistic phase, or this is a sort of the recovery phase when the economy is overcoming its weaknesses as far as the economic situation is concerned, as far as the demand for the product is concerned, as far as the prices is concerned, and ultimately the demand for the product, when it is generated, when it is high, it leads to have good change in the prices, good positive change, and therefore we can say that ultimately there will be increase in the supply of the goods and services and supply of the products. Capital goods are related with the industries which produce the machinery and plant and computers and office equipment and other electronics electronic instruments or these capital goods, they indicate the nature of the product, and the nature of the product basically show that why it is important for the investors to keep these capital goods in their portfolio, and why it is important for them to invest in these capital goods, and what they can get, what type of capital gain and what level of capital they can get out of they can gain out of the investment in these particular capital goods. And because of the remarkable time gap between the orders of this production and the terms of their realization, these stocks demonstrate their high and stable prices in the latest phases of the business cycle. Here we can see that because of the gap of the time and gap and difference in terms of time of the order of the production and at the time of the realization of the order or the purchase of the stock, we can say it is basically important for the investor, and it is important for the person who is placing the order for these capital goods, that to keep investment at the and to make the investment at the last phases of the investment. Therefore, we can say consumer goods, durables, they are also long living products, but the capital goods, they are also long living. There is little bit difference in their nature. Therefore, we can say that for the durable consumer goods, it is important to keep the investment at the during the middle of the business cycle, when the prices are likely stable and it is showing a positive trend in the prices are showing and returns are showing positive trend in the business. And then we can say that the capital goods, they should be ordered and they should be purchased, and investment should be made at the end of and at the last stages of the business cycle. And because when we make the order and we purchase the order, or the production take place, and we can get our demand in terms of these capital goods, we find that there is a lot of time gap, and therefore it is good that we should decide to purchase these items at the end of the business cycle, which we have made particularly with respect to these items and these stocks. Thus, by knowing and identifying the different pattern of the prices relating to the industries in real investment environment, the investor can diversify his or her stock portfolio, which will reflect the changes in the economic business. All this can indicate that basically what is the reason that we can observe and we can face different type of the fluctuations in the business cycle, and business cycle indicate different phases and cyclical changes for the demand and supply of particular commodity, and for the demand and supply of the commodities on aggregate. And this is basically the pattern of the price fluctuations which are related to the demand and supply. And when there are fluctuations in the prices of the goods and services, when there are fluctuations in terms of real investment of these goods and demand for the goods, so we can say that we can observe a particular pattern of the investment, a particular pattern of the purchase and sale of these goods, and this pattern is known as it shows the phases from one point in time and to the other point in time, and is known as the economic cycle. Then we have the market timing strategy, which is another important strategy with the help of which we can make our investment. The essentiality of this strategy. What is the feature and what is the particularity of this strategy, and the investors' effort to be in the market? That is, investors' effort, they are parent, they are observed, and in the market, when market is in optimistic phase, we can say that the investors, they effort, they do hard work in the market when the market is in optimistic phase. That is, when the market is at peak level, it is showing a growth, a positive growth during for its phases, for its different phases. So we can say that this is the time when price is increasing and prices are growing. This is the time when the demand for the product is growing, and people are and the investors, they are investing as a result of growth in the demand and as a result of growth in the price level, and to withdraw from the market in the bearish phase when prices are slumping. So what is the feature of this particular phase is for a particular method to undertake the investment is that investment should be made at the point when we can observe positive trend in our cycle. for this particular product. For example, if we draw this, we can say that this is the type of the cycle, or these are different phases of the cycle. And investor is basically trying hard in the market in order to make his investment, and he tries to make investment when it is at the optimistic side, when it is showing positive trend in its prices, or when the we can say demand is growing, और when the जो है price is growing, जब demand बढ़ती है, जब demand जो है वो grow करती है, we know कि price जो होती है वो grow करती है, price भी increase करती है, resulting from increase in the demand level, and as a result supply will increase. That is, investor producer will produce the product, and investor of the real investment or real production, they will produce the goods, they will supply the goods, and the goods will come in the market, and the investor, they will demand, the investor of the portfolio investor, they will purchase the product, and as a result the prices of these products will increase, and the cycle will continue. This is the optimistic phase, or this is the optimistic phase, which is basically preferred for this type of investor and using this market time strategy. And the reality or the concept or the key point with respect to market timing strategy is that the investor should recognize the time and should learn about the time, should have the awareness of the time when the investment should be made. Or as far as this particular discussion is concerned, that investment is better if it is made at the time when business cycle for this particular economic environment, for this purchase and sale and supply and demand of this particular economic goods is facing optimistic or positive phase, and it shows an improvement, and otherwise we have downfall in the business cycle phases, and we can observe the recession or the down after downturn we can observe the recession or the depression in the market. And one important point relevant with this discussion is that investors should increase the supply when and demand. Investors should increase the demand when they are facing increase in the prices, and when they are basically demand is growing, and they demand, and as a result prices will increase, they will be optimistic and time, and when they try to sell this their demanded product, they will get a positive price and positive selling price. Another important thing is that they should be away. It should be away from the market when the prices are in slump and the market is not showing any positive behavior, and when they feel that prices will fall afterward, they should sell their demanded product, their purchased item and stock at that time, when they find that there will be now a downturn experienced by the business cycle. Investors use several different techniques for forecasting the major ups and downs in the market, and definitely investors and those who are purchases of different items of the portfolio, they have lot of experience, they have lot of information from the market, and they also obtain the knowledge from the market. So we can say this learning can guide them in a proper way, that they will know that when the markets when the economic situation in the market will be better, and when the economic situation in the market may show a downturn and downfall. And therefore in the light of the experience of the investors, they will make their decisions that when the investment should be made and when it should not be made or should be avoided. Or in other words, we can say whether to keep the investment with themselves, that is, they will continue with their investment and they will keep their stock with them, or they will sell. What they will do, it depends upon their knowledge, it depends upon their experience and information they have acquired from the market. And definitely as investor, and experienced investor, they have well knowledge about the topic and about the condition prevailing. Then the most often applied technique using the market timing strategies are, we are continuing with the market timing strategies, and most applied techniques are the following. That is, the techniques which are practically used and more often practically used, they are the technical analysis, stock valuation analysis, and analysis of economic forecasting. Investors by forecasting changes in the macroeconomy and in the interest rate. These investors, they forecast, they predict the changes in the macroeconomy and the macroeconomic variables. That what type of changes the economy is experiencing and what type of changes are going through the interest rate. And they try to decrease the investment in the stock in the phases of the economic downturn. This is the wisdom of, and this is the good decision making according to which the investors they will decrease their investment in the stocks when the market is passing through the business cycle downturn, the economic downturn in the economy. And to return these investment during upturn phases of the economy. So what is next is that when the economic downturn is prolonged, the investor should not invest. And when they think and they observe that now downturn will start upward rising and will follow a positive trend, they should make the investment so that after that the optimistic stage will come up. And otherwise, on the other hand, we can say that when they find that the optimistic upturn is now converting into downturn, they should not purchase and they should not buy in these stocks. Rather, they can sell before the downfall started. They should sell the product. Continuing with the discussion, we have the important stages. The first is technical analysis. Technical analysis in the market timing strategy for the good decision making as far as the portfolio holdings of the stocks is concerned. The technical analysis is based on the diagrams of price fluctuation in the market, and the investors to continuously watch the stocks when the prices are growing and when falling, as they signalize about the presumable changes in the stock market. The purpose of the stock variation analysis is to examine whether the stock market is a supply market or it is a demand market. It is very much important point to be highlighted over here, that as far as the technical analysis of the market is concerned, that technical analysis of the market is basically based on the diagram of the price fluctuations in the market, and the investors, they can predict and they can come that when the prices are likely to go down and when the prices of the stock are likely to go up, and therefore according to these type of fluctuation, they can decide to make their investment and they can decide to make their purchases for their portfolio. And in this way, this is basically known as technical analysis, can be known as stock valuation analysis, that they have the knowledge and the investors have enough experience to evaluate the stock, that when the stock is likely to have good return to the investor or it is likely to have low return to the investor. So we can say that he should examine that whether this market is now supply market or it is a demand market, and what type of market it is. And definitely when he can examine, we can have the proper analysis of the supply market or demand market. So they should do whether it is the time to purchase or it is the time to sale. So when it is demand market, it is good to demand the asset. It is good to purchase the different categories of the stock and to keep the stock in their portfolio. And when it is supply market, definitely it means that they can know that this is the time when the value of the stock is high, and they should now supply their existing stock to the stock market and to the financial market, so that they can sell their items, and because they can predict and they can come to know that after that time, when the turn of the stock market is completed, after that it will show a negative turn and the prices will go down, and the existing stock which may be purchased at the high level may show a low value in terms of price, and the prices may face a downfall and downturn. Therefore, it is better for the investor to first, on the basis of the technical analysis of the market, on the basis of the stock valuation analysis of the market, to differentiate properly and to examine the supply market and the demand market. It is the undervalued stock prevailing in the market. It reflects the supply market. When we can say when the stock is undervalued, it is supply, and when it is overvalued, it is demand market. How we can say this? We can say this through, for example, if we say that the price of the stock, what is the actual price of the stock? When the actual or intrinsic worth of the stock can be indicated by the P star. This is the intrinsic worth of the stock is less than the actual price of the stock. This tells us that this is the undervalued situation. We can say what is the actual valuation of the stock and what is the actual worth of the stock is underestimated and is not properly evaluated and is not properly examined by the market. And when it is not properly measured by the market, we can say that it is undervalued stock. Definitely it is not good time for the investor to sell the stock or to sell the assets, to sell the items and instruments which the investor has purchased at maybe at a higher rate, not good to sell at a low rate or the lower price. Therefore this is one important aspect of these two types of the prices, with the help of which we can compare the actual market price of the stock and the intrinsic worth of the stock. And this comparison can provide us a light, with the help of which we can make our purchases, with the help of which we can make our decision in order to decide our portfolio holdings. And when this is the situation, we should not supply. When it is the undervalued, we should not supply. When it is overvalued, and we should supply when it is overvalued. When we say when it is, if you look here, what is the overvalued? Overvalued is that what is the market price of the stock is basically is greater than the actual intrinsic value of the stock. And these two types of the stocks can indicate the situation, what type of decision should be undertaken by the investors. Or therefore we can say in reality, whenever we want to make the purchases, we should make the purchase for our portfolio. And otherwise we should wait for the proper time, we should wait for the reasonable time in order to make our purchases. We have the price earning ratio. The concept of price earning ratio is very much important. Whatever the particular instrument or stock or item we are discussing, or we are talking about its trade in the financial market, price earning ratio is very much important concept. The valuation tools frequently used when applying for the market timing strategies are price earning ratio, PER, the average market price or book value ratio, the average dividend income, the analysis of economic forecasting. All these are very much important concerns of the price earning ratio. That on average, what is the ratio of the average market price to the book value, and the average dividend income, what is the level of average dividend income out of any investment, and how we can forecast, how the investor can forecast the future earnings and future economic situation. Valuation screening strategy is the essentiality of the strategy is that by choosing and applying one or combining several stock valuation methods and using available information about the stock from the data accumulated in the computer database. So we can say how we can find out the stock valuation method. This is basically we should have the data accumulated from the stocks and from the stock market about any particular stock, and we can formulate the trend, and we can keenly observe the trend, and therefore we can analyze the situation of the returns relevant to that particular stock, that what have been the prices of those particular stocks that we are interested in. The valuation screens are set by the investor. Valuation screen strategy is that how we can find out the valuation of the and the valuation screen of any particular investment or stock by the investor. Continuing with the discussion, all stocks on the screens are allocated on the basis of their rating in such an order. On the top of the screen, that how we can order these are how we can observe the stocks on the screen. On the top of the screen, undervalued stocks are present. At the bottom, overvalued are stock. When we make the stock, and we can take the data from the market with relevance to the stock, so we can after formulating a screen of all the stocks, we can find that on the top the undervalued stock are observed, and at the bottom overvalued are observed. Using these screens, investors can form their diversified stock portfolio and exercise the changes in the existing portfolio. Therefore, we can say that these screens basically play an important role. They play a role of the guide to the investor to formulate their strategies to purchase the particular stock to keep in their portfolio holding, and we can say that they can make their decisions accordingly in a proper way and to optimize their situation. And various financial indicators and ratios can be used for ranking of stocks when applying valuation screening strategy. Valuation screening strategy is an important strategy to verify and to clarify the economic worth of any particular stock with the help of the financial indicators and the ratio, and can rate the price of and can rate the worth of the stock on the screen. And therefore, when this information is available, the investors, they can properly make their decision, and they can properly do their decision in order to make their portfolio and decide their portfolio for the future. And the most often used are following indicators: the price earning ratio, PER. First is PER, dividend income, return on equity, return on investment. All these are the important, most often used indicators for the screening valuation. Price earning ratio, with the help of ratio of the overall earning to the ratio of the prices to the overall earning from the investment, we can find out, we can have the valuation of the stock. Dividend income can also indicate the value of the stock, that whether the stock is beneficial and profitable for the investor or not. Return on equity, what is the return on equity? Return on investment, what is the return on investment? Valuation screening is very popular strategy. It is frequently used together with the other investment strategies, and because the investor in the market have possibility to choose from the variety of stock even in the same market segment. Then, continuing with the discussion, we can come to know what could be the best choice. Rating of the stocks as alternatives using the screen can be the answer. That rating of the stock as alternative of using the screen is an important way, is an important method to go through for the best choose and best choice of the portfolio holding items or best choice of the stocks, and it make it clear that what stocks may be beneficial and profitable as compared to the others. Usually, investors setting the screens combine more than one indicator for rating of stocks, searching for the better results in picking the stocks of their portfolio. The examples of other financial indicators used applying valuation screening strategy: return on assets and net profit margin, debt to asset also, and debt to equity, and earning per share, market price to book value. Therefore, we can say, if we look at the previous slide, we can say that what are the other financial indicators and which can be used for valuation screening strategy and method. They are return on assets, that what we can return on the purchase of assets, net profit margin, what are the possible net profit margin as far as the stocks and purchase of stock is concerned, that we have decided to keep in our portfolio, and what is debt to asset ratio, what is the ratio between the debt and to the value of the asset, and what is the debt to equity, earning per share, what is the earning for one share, and all these things can indicate whether any stock or investment in any stock or purchase of any stock is profitable or not, and if it is profitable, how much it is profitable, market price to book value. Now we summarize the situation. Higher investment income. First point is that high investment income, possibility to receive an operating income in cash dividend, high liquidity and low cost of transactions are the main advantage of investment in common stock. So why we undertake the investment in common stock? Definitely there are important advantages which are associated with the common stock, and these are the income in cash dividend we can get easily with the help of investment in common stock. High liquidity is another important feature, and low cost of transaction is another important feature which make the common stock investment as favorable and preferred to the investors. The second is the relatively high risk in the comparison with many other types of securities. The complicated selection of the stocks because of their high supply in the financial market. The relatively low the operating income are the main disadvantages of investment in the common stock. Besides the advantages, we have the disadvantages. What they are basically high risk, because the common stock is relevant to high return. That is why they are risky also, and a procedure of the selection is very complicated because we have a large number of supply in the financial market, and it is difficult to choose among different common stocks. And also we can say that the operating income is relatively low. Then third important point is that EIC includes analysis includes economic analysis. It is basically macroeconomic analysis, industry analysis and company analysis. Two alternative approaches are used for the analysis. First is top-down forecast approach, with the help of which we can forecast and we can predict the economic situation and the returns from the investment in the stocks in the near future. Second important approach, with the help of which we can predict the economic situation and the returns of the returns in the future. They are bottom-up approach, forecasting approach. Using top-down forecasting approach, the investors are first involved in making the analysis and forecast of the economy, then for industry, and finally for the companies. So therefore, we can say that how we should make our investment using the top-down, and what is the procedure, and this we have discussed in the detailed discussion of the chapter also, that first it is important to analyze the economy, then the industry, and then the company, so that we can have the guide to make our portfolio investments. Using the bottom-down forecast approach, the investors, they should start their analysis from the company and then forecast for the industry and for the economy. The combination of the two approaches is used by analysis. The macroeconomic analysis include examining of economic cycle, fiscal policy of the government and monetary policy. The other economic indicators and factors, they are inflation, the level of employment and unemployment, level of consumption, investment and business. The possibilities to use different types of energies, their prices, foreign trade and the exchange rate, etc. All these are the important macroeconomic variables which can indicate the overall economic situation of the country and the economy, and they can guide the investors in the real investment as well as in financial investment to make a proper line and plan in order to decide their portfolio and to decide the items to keep in their portfolios. And the industry analysis includes the examining of the nature of the industry, the level of the regulation inside the industry, the situation with the self-organization of the human resources, the key factors which influence this industry. The perspective for raising capital, competition from the countries, the stage of industry development side. So this is the industrial development side, that how the industry can develop, can progress. As far as the investment is concerned, they take the guideline from the economic situation of the country. If it is good, they find that the situation of the economy is good and the industry is good as well. And on the other hand, second type of analysis indicate that if the economic performance and production and purchase and sale of the units of the industry is good, so we can assume or that is that the industry is following better trend and is on the course of development. Sixth important point is that alternative approach to the industry analysis suggests the examining of four key areas and that how the industry analysis can be made. We have the 4 important keys to analyze the situation. First is with the help of demand we can analyze the progress of the industries with the help of pricing, with the help of cost and influence of whole economics and financial markets. Then continuing with the discussion, the base for the company analysis is fundamental analysis is the publicly disclosed and audited financial statement of the company. This is basically the financial fundamental analysis. And then balance sheet. Balance sheet is profit to loss statement. It gives the cash flow statement of the profit distribution, that what is the balance sheet of the industry, what is the profit loss statement, what is the cash flow statement, what is the statement of profit distribution. And analysis use the period of not less than 3 years, we can say, in order to analyze this situation, or in order to analyze the industrial development course. It will take at least 3 years to properly complete the analysis, with the help of which we can go through the situation and economic situation, and we can go through the purchase and sale, production and cost and demand, and all different factors which are associated for the progress of the industry and the development of the industry. Then we have the ratio analysis. It's another important type of indicator and important type of analysis with the help of which we can analyze the economic situation. Ratio analysis is useful when converting raw financial statement information into a form that makes easy to compare firms of different sizes. This analysis includes the examination of main financial ratios, the profitability ratios, which measures the economic power of the and earning power of the firm, and different ratios that we can make for this particular investor to the other firms and the other companies and other organizations, and we can make the different ratios among 2 other different competitors or the organizations. And when we make analysis with reference to their financial status, with reference to their profitability ratios and their cost and their purchasing, we can come to know that what type of situation the industry is facing. And as far as these are concerned, we have liquidity ratios also, which measure the ability of firm to make the payments and for its liabilities, to make the payments for the debt, and to make the payments for the profits and or other commitments that this particular industry or the firm has made. And what are the debt ratios, which measures the firm ability to pay the debt obligations over the time. And asset utilization ratio, which measures the firm ability to use its assets financially and efficiently. The market value ratios are an additional group of ratios which reflect the market value of the stock and the firm, and all these are important. Debt ratio is important to evaluate the economic status of the firm and industry. Asset utilization ratio is also important to basically analyze the ability of the firm to use the assets efficiently. Market value ratio is also important to evaluate the market value of the of different groups. And the investor must compare the ratio of the firm with the ratio of the relevant benchmark. For this reason, firms are frequently benchmarked against other firms with smaller size and in the same home country and industry. Therefore, we can say it is important for the industry to progress and for the firm to progress, to set a target, to set a benchmark, and should try to progress according to that benchmark, and should try to overcome the situation, economic situation, to recover the economic situation and to reach the target, and therefore it will be able for the firm and the industry to complete and to go through the progress of the economics and economically progress and to financially progress. The stock valuation process includes 4 important stages. Another important guide for the decision making for the purchase of different items and stocks in the portfolio holding or the stock valuation, and we have to go through, and the firms have to go through a proper process. As far as the stock valuation is concerned, it includes 4 stages. And first is forecasting of future cash flows for the stock, second is forecasting of the stock price, and third is the calculation of the present value of these, that is the present value should be also calculated. This result is intrinsic value of the stock. Fourth is the comparison of and current decision making to buy or to sell the stock. If the market price of the stock is low than the intrinsic value of the stock, then decision would be to buy the stock, and because it is undervalued. And if market price of the stock is higher than the intrinsic value of the stock, the decision would be to sell the stock because it is overvalued. And then if the market price of the stock is equal to the intrinsic value of the stock, evaluated at the same range in the market, and its current market price shows the intrinsic value. The 10 is that most frequently used method for valuation of common stock are the method of income capitalization, discounted dividend models, and valuation using multiple that we have done in our discussion in detail, and you can take help from there. Then we have next important point, the discounted dividend model are based on the method of income capitalization and consider the stock price as the discounted value of future dividends at the risk adjusted required return of equity for dividend paying firms. The various types of dividend discounted model depend upon the assumptions about the expected growth rate in the dividend. The first growth model is zero growth model, and the second is constant growth model, and the third is multi-stage growth model. All these are important to guide the individual as far as discounted dividend models are concerned, and to guide the individual to make the proper decisions in order to purchase their stocks and their favorable stocks to keep them in the portfolio. The most common used multiply is the price earning ratio, we can say, as far as the multi-stage growth is concerned. So this is the very much important multiply, the price earning ratio, and we have been discussing in the discussion of this fourth chapter that this is very much important, and we should go through this the detailed discussion as far as the price earning ratio is concerned for the different firms. And decision making for investment in stock using price earning ratio, if the normative PER is higher than the observed observed PER, then decision would be to buy or to keep the stock because it is undervalued. So we can say that undervalued, when the stocks are undervalued, they should be kept, and decision should be to keep them and to purchase new rather than to sell them. And if the normative PER is lower than the observed, in other words, we can say when the actual price or the price that should be is less than what the market price is, in this case we can say that these ratios and the stocks, they are overvalued, and it is better time, it is best time to take the decision to sell this ratio. And if the normative and PER is equal, if both types of values which is normative and PER, they are equal, then stock is valuated at the same range. There is equilibrium position. In this case, the decision depends upon additional observations of the investor, that what the investor think that he should do or he should not do. Then we have the question and answers. The first investor want to identify if stock is cyclical, how he would proceed. Question number 2, common stock has not come to maturity. How then can a stock that does not pay dividend have any value? Give an example of such firms listed in the domestic market of your country. And third is, what is the difference between the blue chips and income stock? Fourth is, give example of defensive stock in the domestic market of your country. 5 is, present the examples of blue chip stock in the domestic market. Explain why did you categorize them as a blue chips. 6 is, what is meant by intrinsic or investment value of a stock? How can investors obtain EPS forecast? Which sources could be used? What are the variables that affect the price to earning ratio? Is the effect direct or inverse for each component? The next question is, what is meant by normalized price to earning ratio? We have then the key terms here. What are the key terms? Key terms are asset utilization ratio, blue chip stock, bottom up forecasting approach, capital goods, cyclical stocks, company analysis, constant growth, DDM, consumer durables, debt ratio, defensive stock, discounted dividend model, DDM, economic analysis, EIM analysis, fundamental analysis, growth stock, income capitalization, industry analysis, interest sensitive stock, intrinsic investment value, liquidity ratio, market timing strategy and market value ratio, multiple methods, multi-stage growth, DDM, penny stock, profitability ratio, sector rotation and business cycle strategy, speculative stock and stock valuation process, technical analysis and top-down forecasting approach, value screening strategy, zero growth, DDM. And then we have another type of investment which is in the chapter number 5, that is investment in the bonds. And many contents are identification and classification of bonds, bond analysis, structure and contents, quantitative analysis, qualitative analysis, market interest rate analysis, decision making for investment in bonds, and bonds valuation, strategies for investment in bonds, immunization, and then we will present the summary, key terms and question problems at the end of the chapter. And identification and classification of the bonds. Bonds are securities with following basic characteristics. We can say we have number of important features and characteristics of the bonds which can be elaborated here. Bonds are typically securities issued by a corporation or government body for specific terms, and there are definitely decided specific terms, and under those specified terms the government and the other corporation, they may issue these bonds or the securities. Bonds become due for payment at maturity when the par value or the face value of the bond are returned to the investor. So we can say that they are basically having the bonds have par value or face value written on their face, and their payment is made after their maturity. When the bonds become mature, their par value is returned to the investor. And when is the maturity depends upon the life of the bond and that what life of the bond we have purchased. And bonds usually pay fixed periodic interest installments called coupon payments, and some bonds pay variable income. So we can say they pay, there is the important characteristic that they pay fixed periodic installments as far as interest rate is concerned, and these periodic interest installments are known as coupon payments, which are made to the investors. And some bonds they pay variable income, and they do not pay fixed income, they pay variable income. And we will at the end of that, and this is today's lecture, and the end of the lecture I will discuss again the summary of the lecture, and afterwards we will close this lecture. And if we look at the contents of the today's lecture, it is about the different strategies of the investment in the stock, and what are these strategies. These are basically rotation, sector rotation, business cycle, market timing, and value screening strategies. Basically all these type of strategies, they are helpful to find out and to analyze the value of the stock, and what the stock is likely to give and likely to give to the investor at the end of the time period when the stock is going to be sold. And it will basically guide the investor and provides a guideline for the investor to whether to purchase stock or not according to the preferences of the investor. And sector rotation and business cycle indicates a rotation in the productivity of any particular stock and in the returns of any particular stock according to a business or according to cyclical changes in the cyclical phases. And then we can say that we have different categories of this type of the stocks, which is defensive, interest sensitive stocks, consumer durables, and capitals. And we have made a detailed discussion that what is the need for the purchase of these stocks, and why the investors they should decide to invest and purchase these stocks, and when they should decide to purchase these stocks, that at what time of the business cycle for this particular stock they should decide to purchase these stocks. So basically this tells us that what is the time which will be beneficial for the investor to invest and to make the purchases of stock, and what is the time when it is beneficial for the investor who are keeping these stocks already, they should sell this particular stock. And the consumer durables and capital goods, they are very much important examples and categories of this type of stock. Then we have another type of strategy to evaluate the investment in the stocks is market timing strategy, and this is also very much important and important guideline for the investor to clarify their mind and as far as the decision making about the portfolio investment is concerned. And according to this, we have the applied side techniques for investment. The first is technical analysis, second is stock valuation, third is analysis of economic forecasting. And this tells us that what is the time when they should invest and when should not invest. Because we can see that when there are downturn, they should not invest, and when there are upturn, they should invest. Continuing with our discussion from this slide, we can say when the stocks are undervalued, they should be demanded, and they indicate the demand market, and when they are overvalued, they should be supplied. Stocks should be supplied to the market, they should be bring to the market, and in this way they can show they can give the important returns and higher level of returns to the investor, and investor should will be able definitely to supply the to earn a lot out of this. And as far as the valuation process of the stocks is concerned, price per earning ratio is very much important, which can guide the investor to and whether to which type of asset to adopt and purchase, and which type of asset not to adopt. And we can say, as far as the price earning ratio is concerned, average market price per book value ratio, the average dividend income, the analysis of economic forecasting, they are important. And as when the valuation strategy is considered, we are doing the valuation strategy. Screening strategy is important, and with the help of the screening of the data, and we can, by forming a sheet for the screening screening data, we can decide what type of assets should be used and what should not be purchased in order to keep in portfolio to earn higher level of output. And on the top of the screen, we find that undervalued stocks are kept. At the bottom, the overvalued stocks are kept. And we can also know that diversified stock portfolio should be adopted, that rather than keeping the investment in one stock and one category of the stock, it is better for the investor to adopt a diversified type of portfolio. Definitely it will be likely to give higher returns to the investor. And there are different financial indicators and ratios which can indicate the rate of the stocks as far as their returns are concerned, their prices are concerned, and they can help and they can guide the investor what they should do. And the most often and common indicators used are price per earning ratio, dividend income, return on equity, return on investment. And as far as the valuation screening is concerned, this is very popular strategy. It is frequently used as along with the other investments, and because investors in the market have possibility to choose from the variety of stocks even in the same segment. And the examples of the financial indicators are return on assets, and the examples of the other financial indicators used applying valuation screening strategy, they are return on assets, net profit margin, debt to assets, debt to equity, earning per share, and market price to book value. And then we presented a summary of the whole chapter as far as the investment in stocks is concerned, as far as the profitability and returns are concerned, as far as the guideline is concerned, that what the investor should do, and what type of stocks he should purchase and what type of stocks should not purchase at what time. And here the very important guideline is provided as far as the terms and as far as the phase of business cycle is concerned, that as when at what phase of any particular cycle and for particular stock should be purchased, and the stock are at what phase should not be purchased. And at the end we have discussed here the question and answers, and then we discussed the key terms, and at the end we started the investment in bond. That is the next chapter. We will do a number of important sections and topics, as far as this chapter is concerned. And first of all, we identified the bonds, that what are the bonds and what is their classification, and we came to know that they are a sort of security which are provided by the government and which are provided by the corporation to the investors, and they are profitable to the investor at the time of their maturity, and that is the investor can get the payment with respect to their par value or the face value. And then we discussed that we have some bonds which pay the fixed periodic interest installments, and they are known as coupon payments, and some bonds pay favorable income. And this was the end of today's lecture. I hope that you will be able to understand the concepts of the chapter and all the topics in the light of the discussion, in the light of the lecture, and with the help of the reading suggested reading material. And take care of yourself. Inshallah, we will meet in next lecture. And up till that, take care of your studies also. Allah Hafiz.